An American Dictionary of the English Language. By Noah Webster. Legume Doctor. First published in 1828, in 2 volumes. Letter A. From to Abassi. Noun. Chaldee. Amma, or Ema. A cubit, a measure containing 5 or 6 palms. A measure of liquids, among the Dutch, equal to 288 English pints. Aaronic. Adjective. Pertaining to Aaron, the Jewish high priest, or to the priesthood of which he was the head. Dr. Philip Doddridge. Ebb. In English names, is an abbreviation of Abbey, or Abbot. As Abingdon, Abbeytown. Abbeyhill, Abbottown. Ebb. A prefix, to words of Latin origin. And a Latin preposition. As in abscond, is the Greek apo. And the English of. German ebb. Dutch af. Swedish and Danish af. Written in ancient Latin af. It denotes from, separating, or departure. Ebb. The Hebrew name of father. See Abba. Ebb. The 11th month of the Jewish civil year. And the 5th of the ecclesiastical year. Answering to a part of July, and a part of August. In the Syriac calendar. Ub is the name of the last summer month. Abacist. Noun. From abacus. One that casts accounts. A calculator. Not much used. Aback. Adverb. A and back. Saxon on bak. At, on, or towards the back. See, back. Towards the back. On the back part, backward. In seaman's language. It signifies the situation of the sails. When pressed back, against the mast, by the wind. Taken aback. Is when the sails are carried back suddenly by the wind. Laid aback. Is when the sails are purposely placed in that situation. To give the ship sternway. Mariner's Dictionary. Abacot. Noun. The cap of state. Formerly used by English kings. Wrought into the figure of 2 crowns. Abactor. Noun. Latin from abigo. Ub and ago, to drive. In law. One that feloniously drives away, or steals a herd. Or numbers of cattle, at once. In distinction from one that steals a sheep, or 2. Abacus. Noun. Latin abacus. Anything flat, as a cupboard. A bench, a slate. A table, or board for games. Greek, aubox. Usually deduced from the Oriental. Aubek, dust. Because the ancients used tables, covered with dust. For making figures, and diagrams. 1. Among the Romans, a cupboard, or buffet. 2. An instrument to facilitate operations, in arithmetic. On this are drawn lines. A counter on the lowest line is 1. On the next, 10. On the third, 100, etc. On the spaces. Counters denote half the number of the line above. Other schemes are called by the same name. The name is also given to a table of numbers cast up as an abacus of addition. And by analogy, to the art of numbering, as in Knighton's Chronicon. Encyclopedia. 3. In architecture. A table constituting the upper member, or crowning of a column, and its capital. It is usually square. But sometimes its sides are arched inwards. The name is also given to a concave molding on the capital of the Tuscan pedestal. And to the plinth above, the Bolton in the Tuscan and Doric orders. Encyclopedia. Abacus Pythagoricus. The multiplication table, invented by Pythagoras. Abacus harmonicus. The structure and disposition of the keys of a musical instrument. Abacus major. A trough used in mines to wash or in. Encyclopedia. Abada. Noun. A wild animal of Africa, of the size of a steer or half-grown colt. Having 2 horns on its forehead. And a third on the nape of the neck. Its head and tail resemble those of an ox. But it has cloven feet, like the stag. Cyclopedia. Abaddon. Noun. Hebrew, Chaldee. Syriac, Samaritan, Abad. To be lost. Or destroyed, to perish. 1. The destroyer, or angel of the bottomless pit. Revelation, chapter 9. 2. The bottomless pit. John Milton. Abaft. Adverb, or preposition. Saxon eft, or aft, again. Hence, efter, or efter. After, subsequent. Saxon afton. Behind in place. To which word be is prefixed. Behaften, behind. And this word is corrupted into abaft. A sea term. Signifying in, or at the hinder part of a ship. Or the parts, which lie towards the stern. Opposed to afore. Relatively, it denotes further aft, or towards the stern. As abaft the mainmast. Abaft the beam is in that arch of the horizon, which is between a line drawn at right angles with the keel, and the point to which the stern is directed. It is often contracted into aft. Marine Dictionary. Abagun. Noun. The name of a fowl in Ethiopia. Remarkable for its beauty, and for a sort of horn growing on its head. The word signifies stately abbot. George Crabbe. Obeisance. See, obeisance. Abalienate. Verb transitive. See alienate. Alien. To transfer the title of property from one to another. A term of the civil law. Rarely or never used in common law proceedings. Abalienation. Noun. The transferring of title to property. See alienation. Abandon. Verb transitive. French, abandonner. Spanish and Portuguese, abandonar. Italian, abbandonare. Said to be from ban and donor. To give over to the ban, or prescription. Or from a, or of, and bandum. A flag, or ensign. 1. To forsake entirely. As to abandon, a hopeless enterprise. What to that generation by which the testimony of God shall be abandoned. Dr. John Mitchell Mason. 2. To renounce and forsake. To leave with a view, never to return. To desert as lost or desperate. As to abandon a country. To abandon a cause or party. 3. To give up or resign without control. As when a person yields himself, without restraint, to a propensity. As to abandon one's self to intemperance. Abandoned over and abandoned of are obsolete. 4. To resign. To yield. Relinquish or give over entirely. Verus abandoned the cares of empire to his wiser colleague. Edward Gibbon. Abandon. Noun. One who totally forsakes or deserts. Obsolete. 2. A relinquishment. Not used. Henry Home, Lord Kames. Abandoned. Participle passive. Wholly forsaken or deserted. 2. Given up, as to a vice. Hence, extremely wicked or sinning without restraint. Irreclaimably wicked. Abandoner. Noun. One who abandons. Abandoning. Present participle. Forsaking or deserting wholly. Renouncing. Yielding oneself, without restraint. Abandoning. Noun. A forsaking. Total desertion. He hoped his past meritorious actions might outweigh his present. Abandoning the thought of future actions. Edward Hyde, 1st Earl of Clarendon. Abandonment. Noun. A total desertion. A state of being forsaken. Abanga. Noun. The Audi. A species of palm tree. See Audi. Abonition. Noun. Low, Latin. A banishment for 1 or 2 years for manslaughter. Not used. Dictionary. Abaptiston. Noun. The perforating part of the trephine. An instrument used in trepanning. John Redman Cox. Aber. Verb transitive. Saxon, Auberean. See, bare. To make bare. To uncover. Not in use. Abarticulation. Noun. See, articulate. In anatomy. That species of articulation, or structure of joints, which admits of manifest or extensive motion. Called also diarthrosis and dearticulation. Encyclopedia. John Redman Cox. Abus. Noun. A weight in Persia, used in weighing pearls. 1/8 less than the European carat. Encyclopedia. Abase. Verb transitive. French, abaisser. From basse, low, or the bottom. Welsh, bais. Latin and Greek, bossis. English, base. Italian, abbassare. Spanish, bajo, low. See, abash. 1. The literal sense of abase is to lower, or depress. To throw, or cast down, as used by Sir Francis Bacon. To abase the eye. But the word is seldom used in reference to material things. 2. To cast down, to reduce low. To depress, to humble. To degrade, applied to the passions. Rank, office, and condition in life. Those that walk in pride. He is able to abase. Daniel, chapter 4. Whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased. Matthew, chapter 23. The book of Job, chapter 40. 2 Corinthians, chapter 11. Abased. Participle passive. Reduced to a low state. Humbled, degraded. In heraldry. It is used of the wings of eagles. When the tops are turned downwards towards the point of the shield. Or when the wings are shut, the natural way of bearing them being spread. With the top pointing to the chief of the angle. Nathan Bailey. Ephraim Chambers. Abasement. Noun. The act of humbling or bringing low. Also, a state of depression. Degradation or humiliation. Abash. Verb transitive. Hebrew and Chaldee, bosh. To be confounded or ashamed. To make the spirits to fail. To cast down the countenance. To make ashamed. To confuse or confound. As by exciting suddenly a consciousness of guilt. Error, inferiority, etc. They heard and were abashed. John Milton. Abashed. Participle passive. Confused with shame. Confounded. Put to silence. Followed by at. Abashing. Present participle. Putting to shame or confusion. Abashment. Noun. Confusion from shame. Little used. Abasing. Present participle. Humbling. Depressing. Bringing low. Abasi. Or abasis. Noun. A silver coin of Persia, of the value of 20 cents. About 10 pence sterling. Encyclopedia. Next page begins with Abatable. Original source text is, in the public domain. This audio recording, including AI-assisted narration, restoration, and editorial structure is copyrighted. 2026, by Musafolios. All rights reserved. Ironic. 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 Ebb. 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 Abacist. 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 Aback. 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 Abacot. 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 Abactor. 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 Abacus. 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 Abacus pythagoricus. Abacus pythagoricus. Abacus pythagoricus. Abacus harmonicus. Abacus harmonicus. Abacus harmonicus. Abacus major. Abacus major. Abacus major. Abada. 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 Abaddon. 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 Abaft. 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 Abagun. 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 Abasence. 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 Abalionate. 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 Abalionation. 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 Abandon. 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 Abandoned. 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 Abandoner. 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 Abandoning. 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 Abandonment. 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 Abanga. 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 Abonition. 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 Abaptistan. 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 Aber. 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 Abarticulation. 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 Abus. 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 Abase. 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 Abased. 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 Abasement. 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 Abash. 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 Abashed. 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 Abashing. 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 Abashment. 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 Abasing. 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 Abasi or abasis. Abasi or abasis. Abasi or abasis.